Chamber of Commerce interview.
No quiet. So please, big round of applause for my friend, Patrick Raymond.
What would you like me to talk about? And he said, well, talk about anything you would like. And I said, great. I'll talk about my favorite subject, me. There was a long pause, and he said, no. Why don't you talk about the other things that businesses have you talk to them about? Your other favorite topic. I said, what a great idea. So tonight I'm going to talk to you about knowing why. Why people buy what they buy. And why people choose the leaders that they choose. For you see, if you know the why, you're going to broaden your horizon and your pathway to individual and business success. To take the price tag off of it. And when I saw that price tag, I said, no, no way, no how. You could have bought 6 duvets for the price of that. And that's when she said those magical words about the topic that I'm going to talk to you tonight about. She said, but hon, it was a great buy. I could not afford to buy this. I see some of you have heard this before. So every night that I pull that duvet cover up, I think about that night. We are all emotional buyers. We buy from emotion first, from our feelings, and then we rationalize and justify second. I had an opportunity when I was young to see leadership in action and get to experience it. At that time, I was dating the first chair of the violinist. Not only was she talented, but she was cute. And we were there at night, and this 60-plus college orchestra was getting ready to put on their annual concert. And this is when the instructor, which was also the conductor, jumped up on stage, and he said, I want everyone to find their seats, get their arrangement, and turn to the first page. There's something I want you to know. He took out his wand, he tapped it 3 times, and without missing a beat, they started in sync. And you could hear as they were playing, he could go to certain sections in that orchestra, and he could pull out certain sounds at the appropriate time and place. And then when they reached down to turn to page 2, he stopped them. He said, listen, I'm going to start you again, but I'm not going to lead you, and I want you to keep playing until I stop you. Again, just like before, he tapped 3 times and they started in sync. But soon after that, you recognized that there was a marked difference from the time before. And as they kept playing, it sounded like each instrument was trying to outdo the other instrument. And by the time they got to page 2, the music was going downhill quick. And then he told them to stop, and he said, ladies and gentlemen, you are all fine musicians. And tonight we're going to play wonderful music. But what you need to know is you need to pay attention to me. And I will make sure that each and every one of you is heard at the appropriate time. You see, in order to lead, that's what leaders do. They lead the big picture. They understand how to orchestrate the group. And within the group has to feel safe. And they feel safe, they will be able to excel to their highest limits. We buy from emotion first, from our feelings, and then we rationalize and justify second. Now, a good example of this, and most of you know, Steve Jobs in Apple. He never sold a computer. He never sold a feature. But what he did sell was his why. And his why was this. He could marry humanity and technology together. So individuals were no longer a slave to the monopoly. His first invention was called the blue box. The blue box was an inexpensive way that we could have long distance cheaply, which flew in the face of the only game in town at that time, the monopoly managerial company of Pac-Bell. And then he created the PC, which went against IBM. And then he created the whole new landscape of the way that we listen and we hear music and buy music with the iPod. And then he created the iPad and the iPhone. I'm telling you things you know, but here's what he sold, and this is what we bought. We bought this idea that his company was an innovator in technology that would benefit individuals. What better why? And why? Because we bought into it. That's what we do. We buy the whys. Tonight, we are celebrating that honored tradition of passing the torch. One man is stepping down from the president. One man is stepping up to be president. The question I'm posing tonight is, do you know why? And if you know why, do you know how to communicate it? Do you know how to articulate it? And better yet, do you know how to put it in a way that we will buy into it? For what I think most companies don't get and what most companies don't see is that we are feeling people, we want to connect, and we buy into the whys long before we buy into the features and how we do things. And given consumers, if you have a chance to go from one to the other, you will always pay a little higher price to do it. And here's how I know this. You tell an Apple user that they're using an inferior product, and you're going to get a fight on your hands. It was my honor and my privilege to be here tonight. I'm going to tell you my why. My why is this. It's simple. It was such a great price, I could not afford to buy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pastor Raymond, everybody.